And good morning, everyone. Live from the town of Babylon, New York, the gateway to Suffolk County and the heart of Long Island. This is I Love Babylon with me, your host, Ryan O'Neill Williams. And today we are continuing with our local community leaders series. And our guest today is the Honorable Mary E. Adams, the mayor of Babylon Village. Hello, Mary. How are you doing? Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
Good morning, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. And please call me Mary.
Exactly.
I watched your interview with Mayor Lavarada,
Yes.
who I absolutely adore, and we work so well together. And I heard him say the same thing. Please don't call me Your Honor.
Yeah. You know what? Before this, 12 years ago, I lived in the city, in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm used to hearing them refer to the mayor as his honor or whatever. And so when I came out here, I figured there should be no less for these people who work. Honestly, I'm not saying the mayor of New York City doesn't work hard. I'm just saying I see my representatives out here all the time, actually getting it done and pushing it through. So I'm happy to host you. I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to introduce you to everybody else. And in this particular case, as it turns out, we may, I'm everywhere. So we may have been in a room together in the past, but I may not have, because you're not actually the mayor, or it's been 12 years, right? So it's possible you were doing something else at the time. So we've actually never met. So this interview I know is going to be different for at least two reasons. Three, you're a relatively new mayor. We've never met before. And you are the first, am I right? You're the first female mayor of Babylon Village. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Look at progress, people. We are winning. and people are like, oh, is that just for this group or that group or what? No. The fact that what you were a shoe-in actually makes it to me like, wow, we're really moving forward. No, I haven't heard one person say, oh, okay, well, what's that about or whatever. Not one. We are moving forward. So how that came to be, your relationship with Mayor Scordino, rest in peace, who used to be the mayor of, for those of you who don't know, who's the mayor of Babylon Village, right before your predecessor.
Yes.
Tell me about that relationship.
It is one that, and people do say to me, oh, wow, the first woman mayor. It is exciting, but what's even more of a compliment to me, and certainly something I'll be humbled with for the rest of my life, is the fact that he saw in me qualities to carry through his vision. I remember the day, it was in June of 2016, when he called me down to Village Hall. I thought I was being called into the principal's office. And he asked me if I would consider being a trustee for the Village of Babylon. I had sent him a letter a few years before that. He had appointed me rather on the Architectural Review Board, which I was very honored to be a part of that great board. And so when he asked me this about a trustee, I literally cried. I was just so humbled by the thought. And my relationship with him was.
Oh, seem to have lost you for just a second. We seem to have lost the mayor for just a second. Hopefully we'll get that right back. Or maybe everybody else can hear you and I just can't. All right, Mayor, we're gonna dump out and come right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now I can hear you. As soon as I'm ready to dump you out. All right, you were saying.
I was very fortunate. And I'll treasure my relationship with him forever. He was my confidant. He was my mentor. When something was wrong, he had no problem telling me what he thought. And you know what? You learn from that. You understand it. and it helps you to move forward. Everything that he taught me and learned, and the laughs we would have, and sometimes the not great discussions, were always, Ryan, in the best interest of the Village of Babylon. And every morning, he would call me. It was around 8:30 every morning, and we'd start with what was going to happen for the day. Every evening at 7 o'clock, I would call him as kind of like a wrap up, and what I was looking forward to the following day, and to get his advice and wisdom and things like that. And I have to say, even in times of the struggles with COVID and other things, and some serious decisions that we as a village board of trustees had to make, he would always end the conversation with, "Thank you, Mary." Always. I remember one time dropping him off a piece of apple cake into Village Hall, and not trying to hold back the tears here, but you would have thought I gave the man $1 million, the way he called me. And, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why did you do this?" All of that type of thing. But he was so like that with so many people in this village, people's lives that he touched, Ryan, that on little things, just asking them how they were, helping them with their trash, picking them up a meal. This was the man behind our mayor.
Yeah.
And what a tribute we had in the village. What a tremendous loss it is for the village. And for me, on a personal level, it's a tremendous loss for me every day. Every day.
Yeah,
but I'm glad to have had him.
I don't know. I've lived in many places in my life. I do not think I have found a group or a community of people. I mean, accepting what went on in the last November and whatever here, but I have not met and lived in a community that displays gratitude as much as the people here, and in particular, the leaders and the people who actually serve this community. So I am not surprised to hear that you gave him a token like a cake, and he literally like freaks out and is like, "Yo, that is the greatest thing," whatever. However, now, the way things move and the way things possibly can go, because you're a person, he was a person, there, and he was he was very protective of the village, protective of the businesses in the village and the residents. But I mean, he could be fierce at that. But what I'm saying is, as a person, he may have had things that he was doing in a certain way that you now have the opportunity to, even though you may still want to honor his legacy, you may have the opportunity to do things different and move forward in a different way. Are there any things like that that you've already identified? You're like, this is good, but how can we build on this and make a change or go in a different direction?
Sure. Great question. One of the things, and we seem to have the problem, not just here. In fact, Suffolk County just passed a law about the bicycles and the children, and not behaving in the proper way in a dangerous level. So Mayor Scordino at the time had, and it was something that he was very passionate about. He and the Village Board of Trustees, we had instituted a $100, storage fee for the bicycles, that when they are confiscated, that we will pick them up, and we will have them at Village Hall. When the parents pick them up, the fee has to be paid, which has been working well. I also added into that I want the children to do community service. Okay, so and of course with the parents' approval. So I'll give you an example. I had 2 children that came into Village Hall, were not from Babylon Village, and they were on scooters or some type of skateboard thing that needed keys. So I had their keys in my hand, and I said, "I know you boys want your keys back. Yeah, we just have to pay the fine." And I said, "No, I'm going to have you do community service. You wanted to do this to our residents. Now we need to give back to our residents." And so they were with us for a week, from right after school till about 4 o'clock. But it was interesting, Ryan, I have to tell you, right before they would go out, and they were working. They were out in the cold weather. They were picking up trash. They were working in our parks department, working at our gazebo, cleaning up, doing things. But for a few minutes before they went out with our highway department, they and I would have a chat. And I know this is what the mayor would have done as well. And it was about making bad choices in life, making good choices. What made you do what you did? Do you see the ramifications and the danger of what you did?
Right.
At the end of the week, which was interesting, they did such a great job. We said, hey, when you're ready for, for a summer job, come back, apply to us for employment, and hopefully we can hire you for our summer programs.
Very nice.
So so that was one area that that we took the mayor, Mayor Scordino's vision, and we expanded it on a little bit as well.
Great example. Excellent example. So okay, let's go back into the, yes, that's your identity, but let's go into that deeper. Where are you from? Are you originally from the town of Babylon? Have you lived here forever in your life? I heard some very passionate stories where you went to town supervisor Richard and like told him some things because some things weren't going the way that you thought that they go. So I feel like maybe you are connected here. What is? I mean, is there? I know you were in real estate. Is that what else? What else? Are you from here?
No, I actually grew up in New Jersey. I did not grow up here. And my family had moved here back in the early 80s. My mother was a nurse. My father was a real estate broker. So it's interesting. My sister became a nurse. I became a real estate broker. And so we lived in Rockville Center. And then I had an opportunity to be transferred to the village of Babylon as a secretary for a real estate office. So I took the job, and it was funny because I said to my husband at the time, I'm not married now, but I said to him at the time, I said, Babylon Village, that's like, I don't even know where that is. I don't think I'm going to last long there. Let me move closer to Rockville Center. Right. And then after a month, he said to me, have you looked for another job? I said, no, and true story, Ryan. I said, there's something special about that little community. I don't know what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it. And I said, but there's something with the charm and people knowing each other. And sure enough, after I was working here, I became a realtor in 1987. So I was selling homes here, got used to the community and all of that. Yes, my first experience with my town supervisor, who I absolutely adore, along with Mayor Lavarada and certainly Mayor Siri, who have been very supportive through this transition from Mayor Scordino, was exactly what the town supervisor said. It was over a Sandy issue. I was not happy. Mayor Scordino took me to his office, and here's the, just goes to show you the dedication of Rich Schaefer. After the meeting, I said to him, he said, Mary, you can call me anytime with any problems in your community during Sandy. It doesn't matter what time of the night it is. And I said to him, you're just saying that to me. And he said, no, you can call me on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock and I will respond. I said, well, I'm not calling you Sunday night at 10 o'clock because that's Wicked Tuna night on the Nat Geo channel or whatever.
So you had plans for that Sunday.
Right. Every Sunday night was Wicked Tuna. So and lo and behold, I received a phone call from a resident in Lindenhurst who was talking to me about, he was concerned about an elderly man who was in his car during Sandy. So the whole, Venetian Shores was totally wiped out. Yeah. And the man was sleeping in his car with the car running. So I went down there. And I said, my God, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. I said, let me call Rich Schaefer and see what happens. I emailed him. Within 5 minutes, our town supervisor called me and said, what are you doing there? I'm going to handle it. He'll be fine. And our town supervisor did. He took care of this man like it was his own family. Yeah. So, but that was our first meeting. I will never forget what Rich Schaefer did, and never bragged about it. Just did the right thing to it. Like you said, we're all people. Did it for another human being.
He just serves. I've had I have maybe 6 or 7 stories just like that, because the first time I met him, I was impressed, and he handed me his card and said, make sure you call anytime you've got a problem. And every time I've called, it's minutes. It's always minutes. Never takes anything any longer than that. Even if he is not the person who's responsible. Like, I've called him about what we refer to as county roads, or that he doesn't have any jurisdiction over. and he still gets something done in 20 to 30 minutes. I'm like, how does he
Mm-hmm.
do that? What does he have on all these guys all over the
Yeah.
town?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just how it is. He's very powerful like that. Well, he's very, he wants to serve right away, and
Yeah.
speed and service, all of that works out. So
Mm-hmm.
and then, so you were a trustee, and then how does it work that you are now the mayor after, God bless him, Mayor Scored, how exactly does that work? What's the charter, or what's the information? How do they get that moving?
Sure. So what had happened after the passing of the mayor, the board had to make a decision on who to, be to step into his shoes. So the board had, technically I'm appointed,
Right.
so I am in there until March, where we have an election.
Wait,
So
March this year?
this year. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yep.
you're a part of that. I've been seeing the signs, of course. And so I
The
know
Better
that there
Babbling
is.
Party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep,
So
the
you're
Better
a part of
Babbling
that party, and you'll be
Right.
on the okay. So people, if you're in Babylon Village, this is the opportunity that you're going to be voting in next March. And they have to register for vote. They have to definitely
Right.
be a member of, you live in 11702, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. You have to be a village resident. Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right.
So yeah, it's been an interesting 100 days for me.
Yes.
I've had to appoint 2 other trustees. I've had
Okay.
to appoint 2 other members to different boards. I've handled snowstorms.
Yes.
Yesterday we had a water main break on one of our blocks. I was over there at the water main break, seeing what's going on. Went back there early this morning, to make sure everything was okay. The water had receded. We have Argyle Falls going on,
Yes.
restoration over there, to the mayor's, memorial. And so there's been a lot going on in the first 100 days.
It's
And
got to be interesting. And you're doing it through COVID.
Yes.
You actually, I heard somebody say, and this was one of the questions, so I'll get this over with. Someone say Babylon Village Hall isn't open. What are the hours for Babylon Village Hall? If you want to get something done, how would you get that done right now?
Mm-hmm. We are open. I don't know where this started, but we are open. However, we're opened in a different way, Ryan.
Right.
So somebody can come to, all our offices are opened. We had yesterday was tax grievance day. We had people come in, in front of the review board, and we met with them. So every single office is open. We're operating 100%. But we're doing it safely for everybody involved.
Of course.
So somebody comes to Village Hall, okay? There's a note on the door saying, hey, if you need this department, that department, please call this number. So if they call the village clerk will open the door and they can come in.
They can come in.
So there is no problem with it.
Yeah,
we're not closed. I have to say, through COVID, our highway department, we paved municipal lots. We did road repair work. We paved roadways. We handled some of our flood areas with raising roads. But Village Hall, the Village of Babylon Hall, is open.
Things are getting done. Excellent.
We're getting done. We're at 100% working. And kudos to the staff for working right through everything. In fact, one of the things that we did, with our court, because the courts are closed, was, everything we need, you need to have revenue coming in. So through our court system is still open, but any fines or inspections or anything like that, we're handling with the judge through a Zoom meeting. And it's been working out beautifully.
Yeah.
So, just to keep everybody safe.
Okay, so the courthouse so basically you're telling me that the courthouse is operating. It is working. It's open. Everything is there. They can go. So have you had any major COVID challenges though? Because obviously this is the thing that is affecting everybody right now. Is there anything where like, okay, we've had to change this in such a different way that we can't offer this, or there's something that can't be done? No,
we've been like I said, our highway, all of our departments have been working to full capacity through this. When we were shut down, back in 2020, we were even working, our staff was even working from home. So we have not lost any downtime at all. In fact, if you think about it, our our architectural review board, our planning board, our zoning board of appeals never missed a beat. So if somebody had plans to drop off, they would come to Village Hall. We would let them in, drop off their plans, and they're ready to go. In fact, I saw a resident in there last Wednesday, in fact, and he took me to the side and he said, I just want to tell you, this is a great way to do this. I can show up. I just called it and they let me right in. But it's to keep everybody safe during this time. Right. And so we're open. We're just operating in a different way. That's all.
Good. Excellent. And you know what I've been seeing too, a lot, the Chamber of Commerce in Babylon Village has rallied. I see them consistently talking about what businesses are open, even what stuff is there to be done. You have a relationship, of course, you have a relationship with the people in the chamber. I think, is Kelly Peckold the
yes. Yes, she's the president.
She's running too, right? She's running.
Yes, she is.
Is she running for trustee? What's she running for?
Yes, she is.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And how's your relationship with the businesses here? How do you feel they are managing in the village?
I'm a small business owner myself, and for our downtown to have any, especially during COVID with the struggles, you take it personally, because every restaurant, every business it's just not one person that's affected. It's everybody that's affected.
Yes.
And, during COVID, and to the credit of Mayor Scordino, who acted immediately, we set up a task force. And it was the mayor, it was myself, and it was our deputy superintendent, Scott Glenn. And Scott was responsible for getting the outdoor dining permits opened. Ryan, I can't even tell you, this man went to as many businesses as needed to look at the plans, see how they were going to handle it. My role in all of this was I scheduled Zoom meetings with the downtown, with the merchants, with retail, with the restaurants. And so the mayor could go on and explain to them where we were at with the county and with the state. Okay. Any questions, any concerns came up, I handled them through the county, through the state. When they needed help with payroll protection or SBA loans, a lot of the merchants I helped get those forms and told them what type of programs, to go for, making sure that they were okay. What else could we do? There was a time where, and I'm sure the Babylon is Back program through the Babylon IDA. Mayor Scordino, myself, Scott, the Village Board of Trustees supported it 200%. There was times where I was out delivering, masks and sanitizing gel and things like that to our downtown. So anything we could have done safely, we did. We provided. And, one of the restaurants, and it was such a credit to Mayor Scordino, one of the restaurants went on to our Zoom meeting and said, you know what, I want to thank Mayor Scordino for keeping us safe in the village of Babylon and keeping us out of the newspaper because of other places that might not have been faring so well or following, rules and guidelines. And I'll never forget that.
Not just we were in it a little bit. We had a couple of people who weren't following things, and I think but in general, what I have found over the years, 12 years living here, the scandals are at a minimum. It is so nice to come from a place where I used to work in Manhattan. And one of the things that I would meet there is, a lot of people live out here, suburbia, and then they would work in the city. And one of the things that I would meet always on the time, either on the train or in my actual office, was someone from Long Island who, when you say, hey, how's your town? What's going on in your town? They just, because they're going through some sort of scandal, some sort of political weirdness or whatever it is. We very rarely have those. And I think it's not just our leaders, but it's also our people in general. We'll argue things out, as I've come to find out on social media. Like, there's a lot of arguing about stuff or whatever. But in general, we don't get crazy. Most of us are not, doing crazy stuff. So it does make us maybe easier to to govern. Mariella Scanlon is saying hello, good morning, and she agrees that we don't have we don't have that much crazy here. any challenges, you know, well, see, there's the thing. You're saying to yourself, I'll probably deal with all this stuff after March, depending on whether or not you are actually the mayor after March. So are you hoping people come out and vote and that sort of thing? I just realized this just became a political post. Facebook is going to be weird with me.
Oh, gee.
Are you looking forward to that? But what would happen if you don't? How are you balancing that? Like mentally, is that a thing?
You know, I don't really look at it that way. You know, I look every day at what I can do to make a difference in this village, Ryan. And, you know, the mayor before Mayor Scordino was Mayor Conroy. And I look at those two men and I take from them, like we do with a lot of our, you know, mentors or people that inspire us. And I take from them and I build myself every day. And one of the qualities that I do take from these two gentlemen, these two family men, these two mayors, was the best interest of this village. So before I get out of bed, my days are earlier, my nights are longer.
This is true.
Before my feet leave the bed is in the morning is, okay, what am I doing for the best interest of this village? As a trustee, one of the responsibilities that I had was to our parks and recreation. And I expanded on those programs pretty much a lot to benefit our children. When COVID hit, I said to Mayor Scordino, listen, we've got to provide something for these families. He said to me, Mary, if you can provide programs that will keep them safe and have them step out of the box, go for it. And we did. I had my first online cooking class for the children. My gymnastics program became my yoga program. Okay. We did Camper of the Week. I had Ice Pop Wednesdays and all of this. So looking down the road, okay, of where I go in March, I'm looking to expand those as well, which again is in the best interest of this village. So, you know, I'm not concerned. I want to keep moving forward. I've got a great board of trustees there that also have different assignments. One of my big projects, and I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but we have to do it safely, is hopefully moving forward to opening our Jewel on the Bay, which is our village pool, which we weren't able to do last year. Yes. So,
and no fault of our leaders here. It's just what it was. It is what it is. And you have to make sure that people are safe. If you had opened it, then we'd have that situation. Thank you for keeping us out of the news. But yeah. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Favorite restaurant in Babylon Village?
Oh my God. I don't have one. I go to pretty much all of them.
It's a trick question.
They're all great. And you know, when you mention restaurants, I look at the merchants and the restaurateurs, and I have to tell you.
Oops, I think we lost you again.
You get to know them on a once-in-one basis. Okay. You know, I go into my coffee shop in the morning, and if he doesn't call my name out, like, hi, Mary, good morning, I do one of these. Is the relationship over? Yeah. He didn't call my name out today,
yeah,
you know?
How dare you?
So I love our restaurateurs. They call me, hey, what do you think of this idea? Thank you for this. Gee, Mary, my curb, whatever. So I feel like I have a great relationship with them, and I support them as the mayor did through all of this, because, you know, we will get through this. And I have to, you know, put a shout out there too, Ryan, to, you know, our residents have done an awesome job in supporting our downtown. An awesome job. When COVID hit, our residents were out there getting takeout, doing curbside, whatever they needed to do, because that's what our community is about, is helping each other. So, but I love our restaurateurs.
Babylon Strong movement. I'll drive around and I still see the banners on people's their lawns or in their windows. You know, people basically said, yeah, we're going to push through. We're going to be okay. Now, I've got a problem. My problem is X. What are these problems that I would come to my mayor about? What are the things that?
I'm sorry, Eric. It's a bad. I can't.
You can hear me. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello. Can you hear me now? All right. 1 2. Yeah, that's been going back forth every now and then. Can you hear me now? I think I
I'm
went.
sorry.
Okay. All right. So maybe it's just time for it to be over. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear? You can see me.
Yeah, the connection is really poor.
It's bad. 1 2, ladies and gents. I think we're gonna just say thank you to Mary Adams. Thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for coming out and speaking with me today. Thank you so much, and say goodbye. All right, have a good day. All right.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Oh,
Enjoy
see,
your
I
day
can hear
today.
you. All right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you for
Take
all
care.
you do.
All right, thank you.